Hello, Alyssa. It's Chris and Heather, and we have been promising for a long time that we were going to teach you how to make our favorite dinner, an octopus. This is the octopus. So we're making you this video so that you'll know how and you can enjoy it weekly like we do because it's so freaking delicious. All right, so the first step in cooking an octopus is to acquire an octopus. Without doing this, we're just cooking a theoretical octopus and that would make us weird. We got our octopus at Whole Foods. Yay, Whole Foods. And usually it comes with a head on it. But Heather had them chop the head off because we don't really like the eyes looking at us. So you can get them to chop it off. If not, the first thing that you're going to want to do is chop the head off your octopus because it's gross and nasty and you don't want to eat that. Then the next thing you have to do is cut out, if you can kind of see right here, there's a little piece in the middle of the octopus that is a different, very hard, plasticky kind of consistency. And that's not edible. So you want to cut that out by taking your knife. And cutting it out. And I like to feel around a little bit just to make sure I didn't miss any like those little plasticky pieces. Because if you're making it for other people, that would be embarrassing if they bit down into some plastic, and that would suck. All right, so we toss that. The next thing you want to cut off the octopus is the end squiggly tentacle things. I don't know why, but that's what my grandfather always did, so I assume it's right. I've never eaten them. They kind of feel a little gross, so I'm happy to cut them off because I imagine they taste a little gross. So I just kind of go up on the tentacle until you get to kind of a more thick part where it branches out, and then just cut that guy off. So like so. Alrighty. So now that we've cut off our tentacles, what we are left with is all the meat of the octopus that you eat. This entire portion is edible. Before we do that though, we have to wash the octopus because maybe it was a promiscuous octopus. And if it was a slutty octopus and we don't know where it's been, we need to clean it. So we rinse the octopus a couple times here. Make sure it's a nice clean octopus. All right. Once we've rinsed the octopus a few times, I leave a little bit of water in the bowl along with the octopus, and we get some sea salt, which is delicious, and give it a couple of nice turns there just to get some salt on it. All right, now comes the fun part. For the next half hour, I'm going to act like a masseuse and give this octopus a nice massage. So Heather's gonna come over here and show you. Basically, this just entails squeezing and massaging the entirety of the octopus for a half hour. It's basically impossible to like over massage it or to make it too soft. So you really want to get in there and use your big girl muscles and really give this guy a very good, hearty, squeezing, heavy massage for, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes. Once I'm done with that, I'll show it to you, and it kind of feels different than it does when you start the massage. It feels almost like a little gummy, but I'll show you towards the end. But yeah, I know that 30 to 40 minutes seems like quite an investment of time to spend massaging an octopus, but I promise you that it'll be well worth it in the end. So I'm going to massage, and we're going to take a little break, and then once it's fully massaged, we'll come back. Okay, welcome back. All right, so this is what our octopus looks like after his 40-minute massage. You should feel that it's much softer, and you can kind of tell that the skin feels like a little more jelly-like, and you know, starting to like break around the edges a little bit. But as you go like this, you should be able to tell that it's much softer than when you started out. So now it's ready to be cooked, which is actually the easiest part. So we have to put together a little broth. This is the size pot we use, which works great. I have no idea what size pot it is. It about fits over my head for ease of reference. So if the pot just about fits over your head, you're good to go. All right, so we want to fill the pot with water about a third to 40%, probably more like 40%. So we'll do that. Very scientific, this family, when it comes to cooking. All right. One more. All right. So this is how much water we got. Then we're gonna go ahead and use our extra virgin olive oil. Heather bought Spanish extra virgin olive oil, which is like fucking blasphemy, but we're gonna leave that aside and just use it. And I'm not gonna give her a hard time about the fact that she didn't buy Italian.
It was $3 cheaper.
It was $3 cheaper. Apparently in this household, we are a little short on funds, so we're going with this Spanish extra virgin olive oil in an effort to save $3. That's neither here nor there. All right, so I never really measure this, but I'm gonna do it today so that I can tell you how much it is. So that's a cup, and it's not quite enough. So I'm gonna try a cup and a half. We'll see what that looks like. Cup and a half it is, perfect. Put our cap back on. And we take a little white wine. We can get the stopper out. Let me see what a half a cup of that looks like. It's actually more like a quarter cup. And I think that's enough. So, quarter cup of white wine. And we got our butter. And we're gonna try and be about a tablespoon. Tablespoon of butter. And this right here is 5 cloves of garlic. We love garlic in this family. More or less garlic, however you feel like, whatever your taste is. So that goes into the pot. And we've got our gas stove here in between medium and high. And what we want to do is we want to get this to the point where it's simmering, not quite boiling. So let's let it heat up, and then we'll be back to show you what that looks like. In the meantime, I'm going to have a talk with Heather about the Spanish olive oil. Okay, so we've gotten this together, and Heather, why don't you come over here and take a look at it. This is about where you want to get it to in terms of heat. So it's kind of bubbling up a little bit, but it's not like a full-on boil like you would do with pasta. So what it's doing right now is pretty much perfect. This is about where you want to try and keep it for the entire time you're cooking it. The other thing I probably should have pointed out was when I did the garlic, I chop them into these rather big pieces, if I can catch one, as opposed to grinding them or like chopping them or doing anything like that, because I'm not going to want to eat them after I cook them for this long a time. So when I pull the octopus out, I'm going to leave those in there, so it's good to have big pieces. So once you get it to this point, come over here, get the octopus, and put it in. Now, this is actually perfect. You want to get it to the point where, you know, if you turn it the right way, that the octopus is basically almost entirely submerged. And it'll actually probably sink down a little bit as it cooks. But as a result of putting the octopus in, we've lost our bubbles here, but that's okay because I'm gonna cook it like this. So it's gonna heat back up and we're gonna get back to where it was just starting to bubble up, you know, as heat temperature pretty quickly. And that's how I'm gonna cook it. And it's gonna stay like this for 90 minutes, which I know is another big time commitment. But the good thing is you don't really have to watch it much. You need to stir it about every 15 minutes. And also, because it cooks for 90 minutes, you're gonna lose a lot of the water and steam. So anytime you see too much of the octopus kind of sticking up above the water, above the liquid level, you wanna just put in some more water, and whatever you put in water, like a third to a half of that again in olive oil, so it doesn't get too watery. And other than that, all you need to do is really stir it once every 15 minutes and just let it sit there for 90 minutes, which I know is a long time. I forgot to put some salt in, so I'm gonna give it a couple turns of salt. And that's it. For the next 90 minutes, it'll do its thing, and I'll stir once every 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and show you how delicious it looks when it's finished. All right, so we're getting to the end here of our 90 minutes, and I just wanted to, again, show you what the pot looks like. So you can see it's just kind of bubbling up in the middle here, but it's not boiling. It's just sort of like, I know it's not simmering, but I call it simmering, where it just starts bubbling up in the middle. So that's the temperature we cooked it on for the last 90 minutes. Actually, we cooked it a little longer than 90 minutes. And I checked to see if it's done, and if you can see, the skin has kind of started to like peel off a little bit, and that's a really good sign that it's done. And also I can feel with my tongs here that it's softened up quite a bit. So I'm pretty sure that it's about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing off, and then I want to drip across the carpet. We'll move this over here, and it's ready to cut. But before we cut it, we have to let it rest and cool for 15 minutes, as if this project wasn't long enough. So before we do that, we're gonna take a 15-minute break and let the octopus cool down. All right. So we let the octopus cool, and now it's time to get them sliced up and put them on the plate. And by the way, in between, and this might be obvious, when we had it raw and when we had it cooked, we washed this cutting board, so very important. So slicing the octopus, basically you just cut it into like 4 legs here, however many legs they are. And then from there, what you want to do is cut it, I don't know, whatever that is, maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick. Now, if you got any pieces of loose skin, you want to kind of pull those off. All right, so that's about half the octopus. And bring that over here. Last piece always wants to be difficult. Soy sauce, very important. Just take the soy sauce and drizzle a little bit on it. Doesn't need to be too much. And that's it. So that is now one portion of delicious octopus. Heather has made some wonderful bok choy and mushrooms to go with it. And bok choy and mushrooms with the octopus is just delicious. So we're going to take that over.
Sauteed.
And start eating. And as an extra bonus, this is the wine we like with it. It's Barbaresco Rivata 2011. It's our absolute favorite wine, and it's like 14 bucks a bottle. So if they're cool enough in Georgia to carry this, you should definitely go out and get it. That's it. We're gonna eat because we're starving, but you'll have to show me that you can make it. So whenever you get some time, go find yourself an octopus, because we're excited to see you add this to your life and your meals and stuff. Bye, Alyssa.
Bye.